Islam. Today is Friday, Venus Day, karmic number 13-4, right? So it's Friday the 13th. You know, a lot of energy there, a lot associated with Friday the 13th. You know, do some research on that. You know, I'm not really here to talk about, the things associated with it, but the energy itself. So Friday is Venus Day, and Venus has to deal with pleasure. Apologize. It's the car edition once again. So Venus has to deal with pleasure, so Venus rules the signs of Taurus and Libra. Taurus deals with actual physical pleasure, the sensual pleasures, the pleasures of the senses, whereas Libra deals with the pleasures of the mind, right? Mental pleasures. So that's more like being sociable and, saying all the right things and hearing things that are pleasurable to hear, You could almost say that Libra is the sign of good news, and Taurus is the sign of good gifts, right? Good material gifts, right? Now 13 is the karmic number of laziness, right? And for all the karmic numbers, the way to reverse or fix the karma, right, is through the number that it's reduced to. So for 13, 1 and 3 equal 4. So 4 is the way to fix the karma of 13. And 13 has to deal with karmic laziness, right? Not putting in your all in your previous lifetimes, right? Or at least the previous life, right? There was some laziness there, right? Something you should have been doing that you weren't doing, that you didn't do, right? Now, for this influence, it's going to be particularly, right? It's going to be particularly important because we have Saturn in Capricorn, which is all about doing your chores, so to speak, right? So a 13-4 day signifies that if you're not working through hard work, right? If you're not planning or gradually succeeding or progressing through hard work, then today is going to be basically an upsetting day for you, right? Because we have Saturn in Capricorn that urges you to handle your business, right? It's urging everyone to climb not the social ladder, but the accomplishment ladder, right? The accomplishment ladder really has nothing to do with societal pressures or societal standards, although those things are governed by Saturn in Capricorn. They're not, that's just a standard. That's more of a mental thing, right? A mental standard rather than an actual physical material accomplishment, right? So you should be planning, right, and doing hard work so that you can satisfy the urge of the day, right? Now 13-4 doesn't mean that, we all have this karmic debt, right? That's something more personal to the individual, right? So I would have to draw up your numerology chart and we would figure out which one of your 5 core numbers are karmic numbers and how you can rework them. But for today, 13-4 indicates reworking karmic laziness through discipline and hard work and planning, right? Now, 4 correlates to Taurus, and Venus, the planet that rules the day, rules Taurus, right? So you will definitely benefit through planning and hard work And in doing so, you will actually receive the gifts, right? Because Taurus can be looked upon as the material gifts. You'll actually receive the material gifts for your labors, right? So you don't want to be lazy today. You want to move and flow with the energy of today, right? Venus also is in the sign of Virgo now. So Virgo is the sign of concoction and management, right? Taking things, concoction, taking things and making other things out of them by mixing things, right? And also managing a situation, right? Organizing material, physical things. Putting them in their place, changing them around, managing situations. So that forms a trine or a 120-degree angle of ease with Taurus, the 4 energy of today, right? So the energies are in line because Virgo is an earth sign and Taurus is an earth sign. So the energies are compatible. They're the same energy, so they work together. So Friday the 13th is actually a very auspicious time to break out of your laziness that you may have had, right? Your lethargy, your in your life that you may have not been handling your responsibilities so far, This is a great day to break out of it. It's an excellent day to break out of it and plan and do hard work. And, if you've been slacking in the gym, get back in the gym. As we say in the Islamic culture, if you haven't been on your D, get back on your D, which is your way of life, your culture, your strict discipline, right? Because then you have Saturn and Capricorn as well, which is, Capricorn is also an earth sign. So all of these energies are in line. So if you simply just do what you're supposed to do today, right? It'll be an easy day for you, right? But let's say you want to be lazy today. It's going to be a very difficult day for you. Things are going to get unorganized. You won't receive the gifts you're supposed to receive for today. You won't receive, pleasurable things to look at, pleasurable things to hear. You won't hear good news, right? You hear bad news. You'll hear people telling you, oh, you should be doing this, or why are you not handling this? And, I expected you to do this. I was dependent on you to do this, and you don't want to hear that. So, stay vigilant, stay disciplined, stay focused, remain gradual, because the 4 is Taurus. So Taurus is gradual, practical progression, right? It's fixed earth, so it's sensual, but it's also fixed practicality, because all earth signs deal with practicality. What's practical, right? What makes an immediate physical change, right? Physically measurable change, right? What makes a very evident, physically noticeable, measurable change, right? That's what practicality is all about. What can be put into practice, hence practicality, right? So when you have fixed practicality, right, you have someone who sticks to what they know works, right? Sticks to what they know produces results. Whereas Capricorn, Capricorn is more willing to try something new, right? That's also practical, right? Remember, initiation. It's also willing to try something new that they haven't tried before, because to do the same thing over and get the same results is insanity. So, a Taurus, or all fixed signs for that matter, have a tendency to do or to be insane in that manner. Not to say that, these people are naturally insane, but the inclination towards insanity or doing the same things over and over, that's a fixed sign problem, right? So that's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. Those energies so much, rather than the people themselves. Never get the energies mixed up with the people. You know, people exhibit energies. When you say, I am this sign, you really are not that sign. You are beyond that sign, because what you really are is the infinite observer, having an experience that is human and spiritual. See, a lot of people say, oh, well, you're a spiritual being having a human experience. No, you're even beyond the spirit. You're an infinite being expressing itself in spirit, in consciousness, right? In limited consciousness, because that's what spirit is, right? Because spirit just has to deal with the breath. Only conscious things breathe, and a breath is limited. It has to go in, it has to go out. So that's limited consciousness. That's finite consciousness, right? Dealing with earth, right? You're dealing with finite, right? Finite body. So you're the infinite consciousness incarnating in the finite body via the finite consciousness, which is sustained by spirit, which is the breath. Right? When you look up the word spirit, it comes out to be breath. Right? The etymology from spiritus in Latin, which means the breath, or breathing. So you're an infinite consciousness having a human experience via the soul using the spirit, which is the breath. So you are not the sign, you are as the sign, right? You are operating within the sun sign of such and such sign, right? So for all of that, with that being said, today, you know, focus on that Taurian Taurus energy of gradual practicality, gradual hard work, sticking to what you know works, right? So that you can be in line with the Venus and Virgo energy, right? Where you can, let's say you receive the gifts, right? You can alter them, because remember, Venus rules Taurus, but Venus right now is in Virgo, right? So also you have that Libra energy, can't forget about that, you know, Venus and Libra. So this is also an excellent day to be sociable, right? So don't be lazy, be sociable. Don't be socially lazy either, right? Because, you know, you have that Venus energy, right? So do your hard work, and remembering to keep social, because remember, Libra is also the sign right after Virgo. So after this Venus and Virgo energy, we're going to move into Venus and Libra energy, right? So that's actually preparing you for the next stage too, to remember to be socially pleasurable today. Now, this is not to say to bend over backwards or you know, appease people unnecessarily, right? But what this does mean is to remain pleasant in your social interactions, right? Remain cognizant of, you know, certain sensitivities people may have, and make sure not to offend. But always remain true to your voice. Never compromise, you know, who you are, right? But use tact, right? While you're also being practical and steady in your motion, right? While also enjoying the creature comforts around you, right? The gifts. Because even if you don't receive a gift, quote unquote, from another person, your physical existence is a gift in and of itself. You know, that is the greatest gift, physically, for that matter, that you can receive, as a body to actually interface with physical gifts. Remember, you have to have the top-down consciousness, infinite consciousness, finite consciousness, right? The aspects of finite consciousness, you know, the 9 bodies. Then you have the body, the actual physical body. Then you have the physical things you interact with. You know, a lot of people treat the physical things they interact with greater than their body, right? They don't work out. You know, that's another reworking of karmic laziness, right? They don't eat right. That's another reworking of karmic laziness, right? They wear clothes that are actually harmful to them. things like polyester and all other things that I can name, you know, that are manufactured, right? You're not wearing silks, cotton, you know, natural fabrics that grow right out of the ground. You're working with karmic laziness, right? You know, we understand that people wear animals to a degree, but, you know, a lot of those people who wore the animals, they actually earned it. They actually went out there and, you know, either finished off an animal that was already sickly or whatever, or they actually hunted and actually went after the animal themselves. You know, they, you know, wearing animals that somebody else killed for you, that's karmic laziness. So you rework that by either you kill it yourself or you give back to the animals that you're taking from, right? Charity, whatever, what have you. You know, make yourself deserving of that. You know, and your hard work can't warrant you being deserving of that. So that's also another thing. It doesn't mean just because you didn't, you know, end an animal's life doesn't mean that you're not deserving of, let's say, furs and leather and things of that nature. But, you know, you have to stay vigilant and righteous to actually deserve these things. Right? Not acquire it, but deserve it. So, you know, you want to work with the 4-day Taurus energy, the Venus in Virgo energy, which also still rules Libra and Taurus. And you want to stay in line with the Saturnine energy, the Saturn energy in Capricorn, right? Which will benefit you by you staying in line with those energies as well. You know, this has been a pretty long one. You know, Friday the 13th is very significant. You know, Friday, Venus, 13, reworking karmic laziness through discipline and hard work. You know, so I hope all of you out here heed this message and let it be productive. Today we have, you know, a very productive day ahead of us, should we heed this message, right? Which will lead us into tomorrow's day, which is Saturn. Saturn for the 14th, right? So that's double 7, right? Every Saturn day is going to be a multiple of 7, because 7 is the Sabbath day. When you read in your Bibles, that's the day that Yah rested. You know, you say God, but really it's Yah. That's the day that Yah rested, right? So to speak, because, you know, the infinite creative force never rests, truly. So what that is a remission period. It's a rejuvenation period. The action that's actually being taken is a form of rejuvenation, right? A form of reassessing, rather. You know, rejuvenation has to deal with Pluto, right? But it's more so reassessing, right? So that could also be said that Saturn was also in its retrograde period immediately on the 7th day. Now, these days are figurative. They're not actual days, because the only way to measure a day is through the sun. So if the sun hadn't been created for the first day, how would it be a day? People, you have to start thinking that these things are metaphorical in nature, and they're not actual. You know, time has always been. The sun has always been. There's no such thing as the first day of the first time. You know, there's never been a time when man was not either. So there's no such thing as the beginning of man. That doesn't exist. You know, certain animals don't have a beginning either. You know, all of the zodiac animals, they don't have a beginning. Maybe the hybrid ones do, the created ones do. You know, what I mean by created, I mean created by man. And, you know, that's getting on to a whole nother echelon of information that I'll get into later in my How I Think series that I'll be developing. But for now, I want to focus on the astrology and the numerology of the days and kind of open the people's minds up to that level of knowledge, you know, prior to getting into those other forms of knowledge. So that is today's daily analysis, and I will be back tomorrow with another one for you guys. Hope I inspired you. Hope I motivated you to be productive, right? and make the most of today so that you can line your energies up with tomorrow, Saturday, the Sabbath day. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow that you can rest, knowing you did a job well done. Peace and love, people. Have a safe, positive, productive, fun-filled day. Ashe.